Hello everyone, welcome back to another Project Gladiator weather forecast. Today I'll be covering the weather for August 5th of 2023, and currently there are three main regions of severe weather development. They are kind of bunched together, but I will break them down in today's forecast. We do have this enhanced risk for southern Kansas and northern Oklahoma into parts of eastern Colorado right here, as well as a slight risk attached to that goes up north for eastern Nebraska into parts of western Iowa and southeastern South Dakota right here. This is going to be associated with a low pressure system that is making its way south and going to propagate eastward over the next few days. This could allow for the possibility of significant severe weather tomorrow and on Monday as this continues eastward. And then we also do have a slight risk region separated from everything else. This is associated with the ongoing MCV in this particular location. As for our threats for today, we do have the possibility of a few tornadoes with these two 5% tornado threats for the two different slight risk regions and a 2% tornado threat for the enhanced risk region. As for our wind threat, we do have the possibility of destructive winds with a 30% wind threat for the enhanced risk region and a 15% for the slight risk region across eastern Nebraska and a 5% for the slight risk region across Illinois and Indiana. And as for our hail threat, we do have a 30% with the possibility of some large hail across the enhanced risk region, as well as the possibility of some small to medium hail with this 15% across eastern Nebraska and western Iowa, as well as not really all that much of a hail threat for the slight risk region across Illinois and Indiana. Taking a look at our radar Omega model, starting off with our 500 millibars, starting off with enhanced risk region, you can see that we are having a gradual increase in the intensity of that jet stream that is moving across the central plains. You can see that it is expected to be increased a ton in intensity after storms move through the area after today, and it is also being convectively enhanced by this low pressure system further up north. This is going to contribute to the severity of severe weather tomorrow, but I will focus on that tomorrow when it rolls around. But as for today, this jet stream that is being enhanced by this low pressure system further up north is going to allow for that enhanced risk region across southern Kansas and northern Oklahoma. This is fairly strong and it is going to increase with time, so we could see the possibility of some large hail across this region with elongated photographs. And as for the slight risk region that is attached further up north, it is getting the full force of that low pressure system. You can see that low pressure system here. It is getting the full force of that trough right here, that slight risk region. So we should see the possibility of some strong directional shear across this region to support the possibility of a 5% tornado threat and a few tornadoes across that region. And then if we focus on the slight risk region across Illinois and Indiana, it is kind of hard to tell, but there is a very small low pressure system associated with an MCV. An MCV is a mesoscale convective vortex, and it's a rotating low pressure system associated with a bunch of storms around it. And it usually does allow for the possibility of some strong directional shear in the region to allow for the possibility of an increased tornado threat. That is what we saw with the Chicago enhanced risk region, with the possibility of strong tornadoes in the downtown Chicago region. There was an MCV that allowed for the possibility of very strong directional shear in the region. However, our directional shear shouldn't be nearly as strong in this region for today. However, the directional shear from this MCV should allow for the possibility of a few tornadoes across this region. Taking a look at our dew points, starting off with enhanced risk region, you can see that we are expected to have some fairly strong dew points across the region. Dew points that do reach the mid and upper 60s as well as the low 70s. This should allow for the possibility of some fairly strong instability across this region, possibly getting up to the 3000s. And then across the slight risk region that is attached further up north, you can see that we are expected to get dew points that do reach the upper 60s and the low 70s as well. And across the slight risk region for Illinois and Indiana, you see that we are expected to see dew points that do reach the upper 70s and the mid 70s as well. So we could see the possibility of very, very strong instability across this region. And then taking a look at our instability, starting off with the enhanced risk region, you can see that we are expected to get some very, very strong instability across the enhanced risk region. Cape values that could reach to the mid and upper 3000s and even the low 4000s across Oklahoma. With strong mid-level flow aloft and the possibility of elongated photographs, we could definitely see the possibility of large hail across this region, and we typically do see some strong lapse rates across this region, so we could see the possibility of some destructive outflow gusts, possibly getting up to the 70 miles per hour to even 90 miles per hour across this region. And then across the slight risk region that is attached further up north, you see that we are expected to get Cape values up to the 3000s, possibly getting into the mid and upper 3000s as well. With the possibility of some strong directional shear across this region, we could see the possibility of a few tornadoes, as well as the possibility of some small to medium hail with some mid-level flow aloft, and the possibility of elongated topograph, and the possibility of some strong damaging outflow gusts in this region as well. And then for the slight risk region for Illinois and Indiana, you can see that we are expected to get Cape values that do reach the 3000s and even upper 4000s across western Tennessee. We are potentially going to see maybe a move down in the 5% tornado threat further down south, and maybe a slight risk region that is extended further down south across western Tennessee, or connected to this slight risk region over here by 4 p.m. EST, because a lot of the instability is mostly being focused further down across southern Illinois and western Tennessee. And I'll even show you on the energy helicity index there, we are mostly going to see our stronger directional shear across this region as well. But overall, we could see the possibility of a few tornadoes with directional shear across this region, as well as the possibility of some strong damaging outflow gusts as well. Then taking a look at our energy helicity index, starting off with a 5% tornado threat for eastern Nebraska and southeastern South Dakota and western Iowa. You can see that we are expected to have some directional shear with strong instability across this region, with energy helicity index readings up to the low 2s, possibly getting up to the mid 2s as well. So we could definitely see the possibility of a few tornadoes across this region. And then for the 5% tornado threat for Illinois and Indiana, you see that we are expected to have some fairly strong energy helicity index readings, getting into the upper 2s and 3s as well, and even getting into the 6s across western Tennessee, the 5s and 6s. So as I was saying, again, we could see the possibility of this 5% tornado threat being extended down by 4 p.m. today, as our stronger directional shear energy helicity index is likely going to be further down south across western Tennessee, and we could also again see the possibility of that slight risk region being extended further down south as well by 4 p.m. EST. But overall, we could definitely see the possibility of a few tornadoes across this region with strong energy helicity index readings in this region. And then as for the 2% tornado threat for the enhanced risk region, is that we are expected to have some spotty and weak 2.0 readings. However, this will allow for the possibility of 1 or 2 brief tornadoes across this region. However, you might be able to see this across Oklahoma. This isn't really going to be effective of the storms all too much, and likely will not allow for the possibility of an increased tornado potential by 4 p.m., as this is going to be separated from the rest of the systems and not going to interact with storms further up north at all. Now that I've told you the weather, please go down to the description and check out the socials for Project Gladiator, and join the Discord for any updates on Project Gladiator. And if you live in any of the areas I covered for severe weather for today, please stay weather alert for the time being, and hopefully I will be able to see you guys tomorrow with another forecast.